Throughout movies and television, and sometimes even video games, many characters are seen sporting classic US military-style jackets. Oftentimes, this is used to represent all sorts of things from their characteristics, attitude, or emotions to invoking a level of fashion or representation. But because of it, jackets like the M1951 and M1965, along with a few others, have gained a heightened level of popularity and notoriety when compared to others. So why not look into some of these examples, along with other bits and pieces worn alongside them, in something of a new series of shorter videos, which gives us an opportunity to brush off an older series, not that anyone's really keeping track.
Let's put it on.
Put what on?
So let's start this new thing with an older one. 2025 marks the 50th anniversary of Steven Spielberg's classic Jaws, which sees the small fictional Amity Island off the coast of New England deal with a killer great white shark at the height of tourist season. After a number of deaths and setbacks, Brody, the town sheriff, along with Hooper, an oceanographer, enlists the help of Quint, a former US Navy sailor turned fisherman, to capture and kill it. Though pretty much all characters wear clothing of the time, obviously, perhaps the most memorable and recreated over the decades was Quint's, which sees the centerpiece of his ensemble being a US military surplus jacket. But before getting to that, let's start at the top with his ratty brown hat, which appeared to have been almost a camp or work-style cap due to the orientation and number of panels, of which the front one actually had two small pockets. Some have speculated this to be, or inspired by, World War II era US surplus. However, based on the features and the fact that many US military caps from that era were based on or took elements from commercial pieces, it was likely a specific work cap design made by different brands, mainly due to the fact of the pockets and the material not quite matching up to uniforms. Some online have even connected them back to caps dating as far back as the 1940s, with others like the one used in the movie being somewhat popular in the 1970s. Whatever the case though, a number of reproductions have been made over the years, some painstakingly to ensure every element is replicated down to the material and stitching, with others just recreating the general color and overall look. Towards the end of the movie, Quint switches this cap for a simple darkish navy blue bandana with a paisley design. Footwear-wise, he had a pair of heather gray socks and deck tan colored Sperry brand Topsiders shoes, specifically ones that appear to be the Oxford canvas model, which were advertised as fast drying and ideal for sailing. These have come in all makes and styles over the years, with even Sperry making Jaws-themed ones for the 50th anniversary. For trousers, he wore a pair of Quint Bust Em brand, which since the 1950s has been owned by the clothing company Lee, Frisco jeans, which had been produced for decades prior to the movie. Holding these up was a black leather belt which looked to be a Garrison-style one featuring a gold-squared single-prong buckle. As for his button shirt, many point to US Navy blue chambray utility long sleeves, due to the color and appearance, as well as Quint being a Navy veteran. However, because of a few small details, namely the double-button cuffs, it's actually been identified as the Levi orange tab cotton chambray work shirt. That brings us back to the outermost and most notable element, his slightly modified US M1951 field jacket, which had a name tape for him, granted one that wasn't embroidered but rather stenciled, looked to have shortened sleeves, damage to the cuff areas, and the absence of certain pocket flaps. Funnily enough though, these were based on the US M1943 field jacket introduced during World War II, primarily for soldiers, meaning neither version would have been issued to him, which leads us to infer that he either got it after the fact, or it was simply an oversight with the wardrobe department. Regardless, this example of a US military olive green coat can be interpreted in a few ways, as from a more general standpoint, it showcased Quint as being no-nonsense, practical, a bit intense, seasoned, and somewhat traditional when compared to Hooper and Brody, while on the deeper side it is also used as an obvious connection to his history with the armed forces, as well as the sea. And last but not least, to complement the look, Quint utilized an M1 Garand rifle at one point, but more often a greener light harpoon gun, Narragansett beer, of which he crushed it like a pro, and of course the classic mutton chop mustache combo. Because the movie has now been out for more than 50 years, there's been plenty of time for people to dig into the pieces of his and other costumes and clothing, but because of the age of it, some items are still a bit up in the air, like the hat and belt. However, as things move forward, usually everything gets figured out eventually. And if you want to learn more while also keeping up to date on one such endeavor, be sure to check out Boss Thread's Jaws Quint from the Ground Up thread on the RPF website, link to which can be found in the description. On that note though, hopefully this quick one was fun and interesting, and if you were ever wondering how to dress when hunting sharks in the deep, now you know. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't gotten quite to it. If not, all good. Just be sure to head on back soon for more videos right here on Uniform History.
But what kind? What kind of shark?
Tiger shark.
A what?